welcome back, guys. As you can see, it's dark. I've been working nights, so I've been getting home around 7:30. So I'm out here working on the car. I got some new plugs to throw in it. I've been running a, let's see, I can actually show you, an Autolite AR3932, which is equivalent to an NGK 10, which is very, very cold. It's way too cold for this application. But me being a novice, fairly novice tuner, I was running an extra cold plug just to play it safe. But now that I'm pretty sure I've got everything dialed in, tune-wise, I'm putting some NGK 7s in it. I got kind of lucky. They're like sold out everywhere from where I could find. But I got kind of lucky, and the Advance up the road actually had 8 of them in stock. So I'm putting these in. I got a new rotor for it because the other rotor was, well, it was a stock replacement for one. I'm not even sure when I put that in there. And for two, it was nasty. So I put an MSD rotor in there, ignition rotor. But I have found some stuff since I've been out here, which I'm pretty sure is why my car was breaking up, which was a simple fix that I could have fixed at the track and probably ran my PB while I was there, but it is what it is. I just happened to look over here, and you can see the vacuum line right here. That vacuum line runs to my fuel pressure regulator, and it also runs to my BAP, my booster pump. Well, it was blown off. It had blown off of the fuel pressure regulator side right here. So that explains everything. Looking over the data log, when I was looking it over at the track, what I was seeing was it was doing lean spikes. And it would be fine when I first took off, and then it would go lean, back down, real fast, like just real quick. It'd go lean, rich, and then it would rich from where the car was trying to compensate, and it would go lean, rich. And then it would go normal and then lean, rich, which is equivalent to spark blowout. Because anytime a cylinder doesn't fire, it shows on the data log as lean. What I actually think was happening was because my fuel pressure wasn't rising 1-to-1 like it's supposed to, and my booster pump wasn't doing anything at all because it didn't have boost reference. What was happening is the car would go lean and it would compensate for it. Well, when it would compensate for it, because I wasn't making very much boost, it'd go really rich because the commanded fuel that it needed would go down. And then when it went back normal and the boost, because the boost was also all over the place. The boost was everywhere. But every time it would go into boost, it would need fuel. Well, because the fuel pressure regulator was not rising 1-to-1, it would go real lean and then fall real rich and just kept going up and down, up and down. Because even without the booster pump, I have more than enough fuel pump to handle the demand of this motor. But without the fuel pressure regulator being able to rise 1-to-1, it would never have enough fuel pressure to be able to handle. And that's why it was only able to handle 10 pounds. Anytime I went over 10 pounds, it couldn't handle it anymore because the fuel injector compensation wasn't enough to overcome the low fuel pressure. Because my base fuel pressure set at 70, which is extraordinarily high. I'd like to get down around 50, but for the size pump that I'm running, my return line is too small. So that's the 70 was the lowest I could get it. What I did was I turned it up to 71 and then backed it down 1 PSI to 70. So my base is set at 70, and then it rises from there 1-to-1. Well, that throws when it doesn't rise 1-to-1, it throws my tune way off because the VE table is based off of the fuel pressure rising 1-to-1. You could absolutely tune the car without the fuel pressure rising 1-to-1, but you would have to start off tuning it like that, and that would be a horrible way to do it. So that explains why it was commanding so much fuel, why it was going lean and then rich real quick, and lean and then rich real quick. So I'm pretty sure I've got that figured out. It needed new spark plugs anyways because I'm putting NGK7s in it, and the other ones were equivalent to an NGK10, which is entirely too cold. And you can actually look at these plugs and see how dirty they are. And I'm actually running a very lean, well, what some people would say is a very lean mixture. And that plug is disgusting because they're just burning so cold, and I do put street miles on my car, so they're just not hot enough to keep themselves clean. So I'm really hoping that that was the problem. I'm hoping that everything else that I'm doing just helps gain more. And I'll be back out at the track this Sunday. For you guys, it'll be all of about 5 seconds. But I'll be back at the track this Sunday. And something else I'm going to try to do is try to talk a little bit more at the track. I'm usually so into just getting the car down the track and stuff like that, that I just, when I'm in the car getting ready to go down the track, I'm like, crap, I need to take a video. And I just turn my phone on, take the video going down the track, and then come back around. I don't explain anything, and I need to get a little bit better at that. So I'm going to try to get a little bit better at that. But in my last video, I was fighting spark or fuel or something. Pretty sure that was the problem. But the car was hooking up phenomenal. And on 10 PSI, my first run wasn't great because I was pulling 16 degrees, and then I pulled 16 degrees for half a second and then tapered it off in 2 seconds. And that was pulling way too much timing. So on my first run, while I hooked up, I didn't run great, but it was the only run I made all the way down the track. So my first run did the same thing it did on 10 pounds the weekend before, which was a 1080, like a 1080 something. And then my second run was actually going to be better. I pulled a lot less timing out of it. I went from pulling 16 to 14 or 8 to 8. I went from 16 to 8. I halved it. The car still hooked up. It was going to be on a really good run. My 60 foot went from a 1.6 pulling 16 degrees to a 1.4 pulling 8 degrees. It was like a 1.48 or a 1.49. Pulling 16 degrees, or I'm sorry, 8 degrees, it did a lot better in the 60 foot, and the whole track was looking a lot better. I ran my first run, I ran a 7.0 flat in the 8th, and on my second run, as you can see in the video, my throttle cable popped off right there. The whole bracket fell off somehow, and right at the 1,000 foot, and I still ran, which is, I mean, just before the 8th, but still, I was off throttle at the 1,000 foot, and it still ran a 6.8. So it was going to be on a lot better pass on that second run, but the throttle popping off really messed me up on that one. And then every run after that, let's see, the next run, I undid, because I couldn't get the car to make more than 10 pounds for some reason. Because on the second run, I was actually commanding 18 pounds. And it would still only make 9. Which that exhaust leak that I'm having right here could have a little bit to do with that, but it shouldn't affect it that much. So I undid the wastegate to let the back pressure, I think I've got a lot of back pressure, to let the back pressure push the gate open instead of boost. And it made 18 pounds perfectly, but it was breaking up real bad. So now that we've got that problem figured out, it should, let's hope this weekend I can run my 9. That'd be great. For you, it's going to be the same video, but for me, it's a few days and I'm anxious. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video so far, and I'll see you at the track. All right, so I got the new spark plugs in it, new rotor. You can hear the exhaust leaks a little bit, but they're not absolutely horrible. That's the biggest exhaust leak down there where that coupler's at. But sounds pretty good. And that's actually idling at, oh, sorry guys. actually idling at right around 700. Of course, it fluctuates up and down a lot more than that, but not too bad. Alright, so that last run, got a 146 60 foot, 650 in the 8th, and then it started breaking up and I got out of it and got back into it and still went a 10.5 at 118. So it's there. I just got to get it to stop breaking up. I'm gonna look over the data log and figure out why it was breaking up so bad. Alright, so I pulled a spark plug. The spark plugs look good, nice and clean. The timing looks really good. Looking at the data log, it was rich, really rich, like a 9.0. It was pegging the AFR gauge on the rich side, which is probably because of my tuning from last time when I was trying to richen it up, compensating for the fuel regulator that I didn't know was messed up. So I've taken some fuel out of it. It made 19 pounds. I backed it down to 16 pounds, and I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit and then go back up and see what it does. Alright, that run I cut a 152 60 foot, a 673 in the 8th at 98, and an 1133 in the quarter at 98. Transmission got really hot and started slipping. Either I was blowing through the converter or third gear starting to slip. So I'm gonna let the transmission cool down and try it again. Still letting the transmission cool down a little bit. Watching some racing. It's just me and Athena here, so Athena's taking my outside video. So if the outside videos are a little shaky, it's because it's just me and Athena here. One of the babies isn't feeling good, so Dakota's at home with the baby. Shooting for my 9, but I don't think I'm going to get it with third gear acting the way it is. I'm damn sure going to try, though. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Alright, I'm all loaded back up. Third gear has left the chat. So, I'm going to have a video of me taking the transmission out, but third gear has left the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to do it a little different. Like I said, Athena was the only one that went with me, so she tried her best to get some video, some cars, and my car running. Dakota was at home with the sick baby. So in the next video, I'll be pulling the transmission out of it. I'm actually going to go ahead and do it now, but I'll put it in the next video. This video, it's actually kind of long. I hope you like it. It's a little different. I tried to talk a little bit at the track and explain what was happening between runs. I hope you guys enjoy that. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.